Halloween is over when I say it's over. So, now that we've got that all clear, Spoopy Hordika. Now, first things first, let's bring in a couple of familiar faces just so they're kind of a presence in this video. Here he is alongside Spoopy Metru. And in front of them, Spoopy Mata. So, just have these guys out on the edge of frame here, flanking the action. So, the Hordika build then. I quite like it. And I know I'm in the minority there, but you know, who cares? Ain't the only one. So, yeah, the left arm, a little bit gammy. Articulation for the left arm, not great. A little bit janky, a little bit weird, but looks okay in certain poses if you can kind of get a perspective thing going on, where it just looks like the arm is further back. Whoop. Now, it is pure coincidence that the parts for this one exist, because, well, yeah, something like that's good. So, parts-wise then, these torches are from one of the playsets. Image of that on screen. I owned it as a kid, it was very fun. I had that whole wave, it was great. Anyway, so, as you can see, you're standard when your feet are conveniently borrowed from Kitongu, as are at least some of the Keat Orange parts. Some of them are probably from later waves, and I kept the silver armor as is for this guy. Green eyes is because that's a standard Halloween eye colour, at least for now. Ooh, foreshadowing. So, function then. He has the arm flaily smashy function with the big beefy right arm, and the one that's going to go wrong. So, spinner. Does it go? Saratoga spinner goes through the entire chest, which I've never entirely cared for, but not much to do about it. Lean him forwards a little, and that actually went pretty well. I got a functional Hordika on camera. I'm a fucking wizard. Anyway, so that is about all there is to be said about the Hordika build. And scale-wise, this is actually my first time seeing it side by side with a Metru, and I do quite like it. You know, they're recognisably, conceivably the same character. So, after the Metru, we had someone who was too close to the camera. Let's just move you back here. Move the Metru Air Lab back here. And bring you back into shot. So, as you can see here, fairly standard, well, I say fairly standard, fully standard in Ica build. Just because, you know, that's what the whole deal is here. Weapon-wise, I just gave him the Jaggedy Sword from, what, Hero Factory, Chima, something like that. I don't know, I like it. I mean, as you can see, not a whole lot in the way of, well, with Ica, the gimmick really was that they were really, really well articulated, like even more so than they came before. That, and they're armed with a Zama launcher that are now operating backwards. And now I need to find all those, excuse me. So, I'm the first to admit that in terms of this whole series, Spoopy Bionicle here is doing quite a bit of heavy lifting. So he's representing the entire Ignition trilogy, and arguably Barra Magna as well. However, he's very definitely based more on the first third of it, given the trans-orange parts in the limbs, and the Zama launcher. Now, admittedly, the Kodak Blaster is my favourite weapon from this era. I could have gone with that. I maybe should have gone with that. but it's a little too late now to do anything about that. Mask-wise, well, basically colour scheme-wise, he's returned to the regular orange. Obviously I threw in some black, some gunmetal, some trans orange, just because, you know, they were around in the Ignition trilogy. We had more oranges to play with there. So, setting him off to the side, we're out of G1. And onto a guy I'm naming, Master of Spoopy. So, as you can see, it armed a slightly asymmetrical build, just using one shoulder pauldron there. Fairly standard lower body, fairly standard upper body. And in traditional G2 style, has ridiculously versatile weapons. So first things first, you can remove both of them from one hand, reposition them, and give him a big claw. Secondly, they can be positioned one like that, one like that. Slide that through, and you effectively have a shield. It's not perfect, seeing as this one only mostly pegs in, but you know, worth it. Coming around the back, you can also attach one of the swords and give him a sword. And he retains full functionality, so he has the gear function, which is actually pretty surprisingly unimpeded by the big shoulder pad. As you can see, you've got like the full range back and about as much range forward as you're ever likely to need. He also has the massive fall-off gimmick and an orange eye stalk, because I don't think green ones existed for this era. That's a bit of trivia trying about that at some point. I know he's got some pretty cool casting stuff going on. I reckon 3D print one actually. I reckon he's got a good enough model for that. Anyway. So, what else can his weapons do? They can combine somewhat into some bulkier swords. For when you just want to cut something heavier, I guess. And finally, you can ditch the swords altogether and stow. You can keep the swords, ditch the axes altogether, and stow them where the swords were. Which, firstly, gives them a pair of wings. Quite cool. Secondly, dual sword action. Bring the wings down and slash. So, again, you know, fairly simple, but the G2 master builds, by and large, aren't that complex. I just wanted something kind of on par with Lewa and Gali, who, funnily enough, are coming up next week and the week after. So, let's just fold the wings back out again. Having them fully folded out does interfere with the gears, but like, it also looks quite cool. So I'm not about to. I'm very much open to letting coolness get in the way of functionality. You got a fairly standard friction there, just with a couple of extra, basically a friction gear on each side. Like I said, very standard G2 build. So let's bring everyone in. Pull the camera back to fit everyone. Swivel that arm so at least part of the weapon's in shot, I guess. How do you build, go figure. And here we have 5 Spooky Tower. I still consider Halloween to be a year-round event, so at some point I will be doing more on this colour scheme, just because, like, at some point I want to get a standard Taraga and, like, probably some of the other villain builds. Just because, you know, Spooky Borok here, he's looking a little bit lonely. He needs some friend. And just for good measure, here they are, along with my self-mock, who's here for no particular reason. You'll see why after Gali and Layla have gone up, unless you're on one of the Bionicle Discord servers that I hang out on, in which case you'll probably see before this video goes live. So, yeah, Halloween special, day late, recovering from a cold, you can probably tell with the slightly cooler, deeper voice. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week for some more G2 goodness.